He's got the auto casting done on the build interceptors, which is a good idea for your carriers, so they just keep building and building and building interceptors. We do also have Protoss shields upgrade going up for the purple Protoss, and he's taking his second base over here on the expansion side, which is pretty much the only safe expansion he's got left. That is the difficult thing about this map, is two players can get these safe expansions in the middle. Meanwhile, one person has this far out expansion, which is a little bit harder to defend. It's a very interesting map choice for this game, and we do have a push now coming out for these players. A lot of forces here moving down when they're going to encounter this wall, so that hopefully they won't be able to do too much damage. It looks like we're setting up some kind of containers. We've got siege tanks moving in right now, but that mothership is now out. Without any detection, those units are going to do quite a bit of damage. That carrier almost getting sniped. He's definitely got to move that out of there so it doesn't get picked off. Do we have any observer coming in for these players yet? There's the observer right now. So basically you're able to see all these units. And this mothership doesn't quite have enough energy for a vortex yet. Looks like all these marines and marauders are getting cloaked as well, but like I said, with that observer up there, he's able to see that, see if they can pick that off. Oh, the mothership goes down. The carriers are able to repel most of those forces. Tanks still sieged up out here, doing quite a bit of damage. The marines and marauders are forced to pull back. It looks like they're getting ready to just push in some more. And that observer's still sitting there so they can see these carriers. See how they decide to transition with these units. It looks like they're getting ready to build some missile turrets out here. But that SCV decided to block the production. Meanwhile, it looks like I want to say the yellow team is setting up kind of a quiet contain right now, keeping them locked in their base. Well, hopefully they'll expand the map and macro up. Meanwhile, those interceptors are just getting focused down. Which can, I mean, if you can get the interceptors killed fast enough, you can actually do quite a bit of damage, because then the carriers won't do any damage. But for the most part, they're just going to do lots and lots of damage to your units. Marines are pretty good against interceptors. Let's see, Mork, why are you pinging the map? Oh, we got banelings coming out right now from Mork. 7 banelings in production. See how these roly-polies decide to get in there and do some damage. Looks like Mork is ready to come back into this game and do some damage. Meanwhile, it looks like before with the clicks and stuff, looks like he's just been getting ready to do damage with his units. Looks like he's just been microing those other units around. Meanwhile, we do have 6 carriers up for Tarask. Quite a huge Marine Marauder ball. He's got the little Murloc picture. I love that little icon. It's so sweet looking. Meanwhile, just a Marine Marauder force as well as a couple tanks down here, just to kind of help to protect this choke. I'm surprised these guys are sending all these units here. I'd send a counterattack in through this way. I could possibly do a little bit more damage. He does have this one tank up here, but if you kind of just run through, you could probably get into this production line and do quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, we do have another mothership out, as well as carriers doing as much damage as possible. The interceptors are getting taken down as they fly away from the mothership, but for the most part, they're doing quite a bit of damage. Looks like we have a scan going out right now. I wonder if they got that observer. Looks like they might have gotten that observer down. Not seeing it in the production window at all. So they might have picked that off. But we do have a couple cannons and a missile turret going up, so they do have detection. Looks like they're just trying to snipe as many of those tanks as possible. Another scan going down. Mothership not quite have enough energy for a recall yet, or a vortex. Looks like we have another ping in the base. As we do have some siege tanks here, unsieged. We do have another missile turret going up and still picking off as many of those tanks as possible. Also killing off those interceptors. So it looks like just a little cat and mouse game. We do have the Zerg player expanding again over here. Just kind of focusing in on this little battle in this contain to see if they can break this or not. Meanwhile, we do have that missile turret going up, so there's a lot more detection. The siege tank is now in range to start shelling units that get too close. Meanwhile, the units are just getting pushed in right now by the Zerg. We do have these 2 tanks here shelling away at those units. Meanwhile, it looks like no, it doesn't look like they have detection yet. Let's check that out and see if... Nope, they can't actually see any of these units. They have no detection up. They really probably should get an observer down here, get a couple of... Use one in production, but they can't really see anything. Meanwhile, pulling back, all they can really see is just the blips of the units. Switching back over to the everyone camp, getting those observers built back up, getting the shields recharged back on their units. It's still really strange to see that they have all their units here. They can easily counterattack over here. There's not a lot over here except for this one tank and this one cannon. And then this one tank back here, so they really don't have a lot of defenses on this side. But they're kind of focusing everything into this contain on the bottom side, which really isn't going to work out too well for them, as they have these carriers and motherships and all the banelings rolling in. Looking at the units tab, we do have 47 banelings about to roll out from work. It'd be interesting to see how much damage cloaked banelings can do. Ooh, losing a carrier as it's getting sniped. Here come the banelings. Oh, so many marines taken out. Now the marines coming in now that all those tanks are taken out. Here comes the bust. Yeah, it looks like they're going for it. They're taking out so many units. Meanwhile, the motherships. Oh, there goes the vortex down by the mothership. Surprisingly enough, buildings don't get sucked into the vortex. Looks like all those other units are taken out, and here comes the units out of the vortex. Now, with the new patch, units that come directly out of the vortex aren't able to be targeted right away. And when you're playing the game, they kind of have this like black shimmer to them as they're coming out, and then once they're targeted again, they change back to their normal color. Looks like those Vikings are just trying to take out the interceptors, which is poor use of targeting. Well, we do have this base up here for purple. We have this base up here for orange. This base just not getting started for yellow. Meanwhile, we have this huge force moving out. If we look at the army counts, we have 136 for the red, 38 for blue, 86 for teal, 72 and 76 for purple and yellow, and 121 for orange. And as we see, these supplies are quickly diminished as they just move army across the map. As we do have 4 carriers still up, the mothership, and all these cloaked units underneath. Let's see if they have detection. They still don't have any detection here. As you can see, a lot of these units are still cloaked. Looks like he downs the missile turret, as well as some detection here and there. As they just kind of stream the units across the map. Meanwhile, Mork just making more and more banelings. Looks like Mork's getting some payback from the cheese he experienced earlier, which was a little uncomfortable, you know, getting cheesed, but his cheese didn't work out quite well enough, but it did do quite a bit of damage, so he was able to recover eventually. It looks like he spent most of that game just feeding his opponent, or his teammates' minerals, so he can build those carriers up. Meanwhile, we do have several banelings rolling in. We'll see if they decide to hit that expo, or if they decide to just go in the main production facilities. And those tanks do have vision of this high ground, so they can start shelling the mineral line if they get close enough. Probably set them up right here, get vision of this high ground, and do quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, we just have a severe amount of banelings come rolling in, doing severe damage to all these units, taking down those stalkers. Let's see if we can finish them off. Yeah, taking out those SCVs. Meanwhile, Saint's forces are just rolling through. Doesn't look like we have much for Tarask up here. He's just like working at building those carriers back up, as most of them were taken out. But meanwhile, this Marine Marauder force is doing quite a bit of damage, taking out everything in its path, as well as these tanks just shelling this base here. Looks like Funk left the game. Looks like Purple left the game, and all we have left is the Orange Zerg in the game. Oh, and it looks like the Orange Zerg left as well. Either that or Mork left. I can't tell which. But hope you enjoyed this game. If you like my channel, please subscribe down below. We'll be seeing you later.